Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of the Wake Up podcast with your hosts, me, Aisha.
And me, Lucy.
And today we're just going to do a little look back review of the year of 2020. And what a year that was. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Mad. Who would have thought we'd start off, is it the decade? The century?
Decade, yeah.
Decade with this year. Like, the history books are going to be thick.
They're going to be thick. Kids that are going to study history are going to have a lot to learn.
I honestly feel sorry for them kids. No word of a lie.
Literally me.
How have you been since our last episode, which was ages ago?
How long ago was it? It was like start of December. I can't remember, but we had a bit of time off. We took a bit of a break just because Christmas time was hectic. You were getting really busy with work.
Yeah.
I thought it was time to take a bit of a break and then come back to it in the new year with like a fresh mind.
Mm-hmm. But what happened? What happened for you though? What happened for you?
Right. So I was supposed to have a nice, peaceful 2 weeks off work because it's Christmas holidays. Most of those 2 weeks I spent in isolation because I had corona, which was
Let's go, Amen.
mad, very, very mad. Not fun at all.
Corona competed with me.
I mean, it's just wild. And it was really annoying as well. Like, I didn't have plans. I wanted to be super productive over the holidays. We wanted to meet up and have like a little nice socially distanced walk, but that ruined all of that. Yeah, but it's not a great experience. It's not, having COVID was a bit crap, but
Wouldn't rate the experience.
no, I wouldn't rate it. Not at all.
Yeah.
I'd just say
Would
to
not go
everyone.
again.
Literally.
Yeah, so that was crazy. Yeah. So much has happened since our last episode. Like, we are now in another national lockdown, and the numbers are higher. The death toll's higher than ever before that we've seen. Wasn't that 1,300 people died the other day? It was like the highest figure that there's been in the UK, and there's been a major incident announced in London because they're like at full capacity everywhere in all the hospitals.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we're not really starting off 2021 great, but I think everyone was like, yeah, the next year's going to be amazing. It's all going to be over. And it's like, that ain't how it works, I'm afraid.
I didn't say that. I saw everyone was saying on Twitter, like, there's no one saying next year's going to be my year. No one's like really hyped. A few people were like, yeah, next year's going to be better than this. Then it can't get worse than 2020. I was like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not jinxing it.
Yeah, I ain't jinxing that. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly.
Yeah, it's... There's a lot, we've got a long way to go yet still. So I'm just like, let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Let's not jinx it. Let's not hype it too much because then you've got too much to live up to. So yeah, mad. You still have Crohn, don't you? Well, you don't know.
I don't know. So before obviously lockdown was announced, it was this week. We were planning to come back into school, back into work this week. So I got a test last weekend and I still have it, which is really annoying because they reduced the self-isolation days from like 14 to 10. So apparently after 10 days, you should be fine. But I don't think they should have done that because I still had it. So yeah. Yeah, so I still have COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still got COVID. We're in a national lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, that's life at the minute.
That's
Vibing.
life, isn't it?
Mad.
There's nothing more in it.
Yeah, literally. But how have you been? How have you found like these past couple of weeks as a key worker, feeding the nation?
Oh, it's been horrible.
Yeah.
Customers are horrible. Selfish. The British public are selfish, rude, and entitled. And that's all I've got to say about that.
That's the truth. It's sad. It's sad that people are acting like that, especially after the first lockdown. I mean, I get it's a scary time for everyone, so people are going to panic, and especially now things are getting worse.
I know everyone's stressed, but it's like, that's no excuse to be talking and treating people the way you are. Do you know what I mean?
No. Especially with everything going on, I think now's the time we have to be nicer to each other. But
yeah. Nothing new. No one learns. British public, everybody. Anyway, so yeah, life goes on. Um, so I have done a breakdown of the whole entire year, what happened, how it all came about, things that how they came out. I have like 65 bullet points on the year. So I'm going to break it down into each month. And then we could talk about like where we were that time. So January. It's all like we'll think it's all good. Nothing's happened in the UK yet, right? But day one, Australia's burning down.
We can't
Day
even
one.
have one day of peace.
So we start the year off with a bang. Australia's burning down.
Yeah.
Day 3, potential World War III between America and Iraq.
Oh God, yeah, I remember
When it
that.
trended on Twitter, World War III. Yeah.
That was crazy.
So, January was always popping off already. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then, I think we're in the second week of January. Meghan and Harry step back from royal duties.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck this, I'm out.
I'm out. Peace.
Which was like well controversial in the UK, and everyone was like, they have a duty, and like there's all this drama, and you just know it's going to make a great Crown series.
Oh my God, it is.
I cannot wait.
Right.
And then obviously no one likes Trump, and we got this idea that they were going to impeach him so we can get rid of him, and we were like, yes. So that was happening in January. We had high hopes. And then what else? Oh, and then we had a tragedy as well. Kobe Bryant and his daughter died in the plane crash.
Yeah.
To top it all off, you've got at the end of the month, you've got WHO, so World Health Organization, declare coronavirus a public health emergency. But at this point, it's not been classed a pandemic.
Yeah.
And then the final day of January, the UK withdraws from the EU, and we were to separate at the end of the year.
Wow.
So that's January.
What a month.
Already starting off mad.
Very, very mad. Little did we know how much mad it was going to get.
Yeah. Like that was just a sprinkle. That was just a bit of flavour.
Literally.
Tony was like, that's just a little bit of what's to come.
A little teaser, if you will.
I know. Yeah. It's mad though, like in January, like what would I have been doing at uni? Like I would have been starting my FMP, my final project.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like at that point, like we were still making stuff. Like the pandemic hadn't really affected us that much yet.
No, like I feel like in my life or in our lives, like uni was the biggest thing. It was the end of the world. It was the be all and end all.
Yeah.
Like, we saw all these crazy things happening in the world, and it was mad to witness. But we were all just so focused on uni, like we didn't care about the world as much as we would.
Yeah, because it was only just like starting in January. Like I think it was like in January when they started building like the big hospitals in like China and stuff, and like stuff was happening, but it wasn't like really coming anywhere else. So like we hadn't really, it wasn't like it was impacting our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's weird to think like, because I remember like talking with our friend Beck about the Australian fires and meeting with people. Like life was kind of just going on like normal for us at that point.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think about now.
Yeah, we literally never thought like it would like get as bad as it did. And I always look back at that time, and people, they get mad at like Boris Johnson for like ignoring it and stuff, and he shouldn't have, because he's the government, he should have taken it seriously. But I feel like in our life as well, we didn't take it seriously either. We're like, no, it'll be fine, it will never come over here. And now our country is one of the worst in the world, so
Are we good at swimming? Yeah, so what's also mad is like moving on to February. The first thing that we see in February is that Parasite sweeps the Oscar for Best Picture. And obviously me, you and our friend Zoe all went to go see it at the cinema, which is a weird concept to think about, going to the cinema with your friends.
No,
but I was so happy that Parasite won. I think it was a good step in the right direction for not like multicultural recognition or some, I don't know what the right phrase I'm looking for is, but like more recognition than things other than Western, which is nice to see. And then I've only got one other thing for February, and I am going to absolutely butcher this name. Ahmed Aubury, a black man, was shot and killed by white father and son whilst jogging in Georgia. The two men were arrested 2.5 months later, charged with felony murder and aggravated assault. So I feel like this was the start of the Black Lives Matter movement getting fueled. Like someone had put a bit of fuel on the fire, and obviously later on we'll get into like where the fire erupted. But I remember that, and then people saying like, a lot of black people saying like, well, can we go out to exercise and run and stuff without like worrying about our own lives?
Yeah.
Which I remember that. Yeah, mad. It is weird to think about that. That's where it, like, not where it all started. Like Black Lives Matter movement's always been a thing.
Like this year.
But in terms of this year, this is like where it's all started.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was people that had lost their lives before that we don't know about and stuff like that. But I feel like this is where it all began. Last mad, yeah. So Feb wasn't really like popping too much, but there was only like a couple of bits in Feb. It was all still kind of chill in the UK.
Yeah.
And we get to March, and this is where shit is popping off. Europe is in danger.
Yeah.
March 9th, Italy is in a nationwide quarantine. So Italy like just went mad with cases. And also in March, WHO declares COVID a pandemic. So finally, WHO is recognising around the world that this is a pandemic. It's not just localised to China, which is quite scary. I don't think at this point Borris was still really taking it very seriously. I think at this point he was still going, oh, I'm shaking hands with everybody.
Yeah, oh my God. There's a video going around social media, you've probably seen it, where it compares like Boris and like the Prime Minister of New Zealand and like their approach like at the same day. And when he says that, it's just so heartbreaking. Like obviously he couldn't have known how bad it was going to get, but
oh no, of course. But
yeah,
taking it more seriously, especially when like you're seeing what's happening around the world, you need to be prepared in case that happens to you. And I remember somebody on Twitter filmed them coming back from Italy when it was like really, really, really bad. The case is really bad, and it was all over the news. And there was no testing, no nothing on the way through. Like like when they do the temperature tests, there was nothing. There was no conversations that people had about where you'd been and whatever. You could just go straight from Italy to the UK with no issue, which was a big thing. And I think why COVID came to our country quite fast, because London has so many planes coming in and out of it all the time.
Yeah.
So that's scary. That's weird. That's suspicious. When there's no one checking.
Literally, yeah. Like, it's such a weird concept to even think about now. I still think now in England there's not much checking going on in airports and stuff.
Oh, no. And I remember when the virus was starting to get really bad, and I bought myself a face mask, and I was using my face mask when I was going out and stuff. Other people weren't. There was still like 10 flights coming from Wuhan into Heathrow like every day. So there was like no travel bans, nothing. Like we were still just letting people come in. We weren't testing anyone's temperature or whatever, which was a bit mad. I don't know that much, but I remember Singapore was like really good for like not letting people in their country if they had a temperature, and they closed up all the borders and like everything, and they were doing like mass clean efforts and stuff like that, which was really interesting. But yeah, no, UK's like, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh.
I think the UK just wants to be different. They're always trying to do like act differently.
They're that one kid in school that's just not part of the crowd. But on a positive note, also in March, Harvey Weinstein got sentenced to 23 years for his actions. So finally,
Literally about time. Like
about time,
that's
man, that was
that's crazy
vile.
when all that came out. I still haven't like looked into it properly, and still need to watch the Netflix, documentary about it. But it's just so weird and strange that all that
He had
happened.
so much power in
Yeah,
Hollywood. It's mad.
it's crazy.
But finally, he gets time for his actions. But then, on a negative note, heartthrob Tom Hanks and his wife test positive for COVID.
No,
No,
that's not what we want.
tired. What's the fucking little toy out of Toy Story? He's got fucking COVID because he plays the voice of the cowboy in Toy Story, don't he?
Oh yeah, it is. Oh,
Ugh. But they recovered well, so. And I know that he gave like his plasma or something for like research or something, or I don't know, something like that. And then we go back to things being shit again.
yeah.
Breonna Taylor is shot and killed on March 13th in her home. So again, this is where things just start bubbling up again, the fire's getting started again. And then straight after, the day after, Spain's in lockdown. Then we get to March 20th, and worldwide death toll is 10,000 people. And then finally, Borris tests positive for COVID, and that's our March.
Was it in March that he tested positive?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was the end of March.
Yeah.
So a lot happened in March.
It did. Yeah. Wild. When did we go into lockdown as well? Wasn't that in March? I think it was like.
I don't think I've got to that yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You start talking about something. I'm gonna Google it.
I think lockdown was yeah, I think it was the end of March, but yeah, what a wild month. I think that's when it started to hit people, especially in the UK, like how bad it got. Like I think numbers were building up. We saw lockdowns in Italy and Spain and stuff, and it did start to get bad in the UK as well. Obviously it really hit me in March because it affected me personally. Obviously my dad got it and then he passed away from it in March. So that's when I was like, crap, this is getting real. And then I think it was the end of March we went into lockdown, and that's when everyone
The
started.
first lockdown for the UK was March 23rd. Why was that not on my research? I have no idea. I followed a website that was like more focused on like it was a lot about like worldwide cases and like the Black Lives Matter movement and
Global
Trump.
stuff, yeah.
But that's a lot of what the year's been this year anyway. But yeah. So yeah, mad. And the whole Breonna Taylor thing is just horrible. It's just crazy, isn't it? I just don't get it. I just don't get it to this day.
It's so mad. And yeah, obviously we went into lockdown at the end of March, so uni closed for us as well.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, our final projects all got like pushed back, cancelled. I remember at like this time, that like my lecturer came to us like it was starting to get a little bit scary. Like the UK wasn't doing very much, but my lecturer like came to us and was like, we have some like contingency plans and like we think that you'll be able to perform, but you'll have to film it and you won't be able to do it to an audience. That's like our worst case scenario. And obviously in the end we didn't perform at all, and we all had to go home and have lockdown and finish the degree online, which was mad because everyone, I thought it wasn't going to happen. I really was like, this cannot happen. There's too many people together. It's going to spread, blah, blah. But all my uni mates were like, I don't know if they just wanted to hold on to hope or if they just, not that they're like stupid, but like they just weren't really thinking of the logistics of it and how it was going to work. But they were all like, it's going to happen. It's all right. And I was like, nah, because I also was meant to go to Finland for a project for uni and that got cancelled. So
sad,
yeah, that's mad.
It is, yeah, because that's like what we were working towards that whole year. 2020 for us is going to be like graduation, end of uni. Like if it wasn't for COVID, so many other things would have happened for us. Like we would have been celebrating with each other, but that's when it switched, and that's when we started to realise a lot of things. Life stopped basically for
Life was
everyone.
going to stop, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was hard. But we move. So we've gone from the worldwide, well, I don't know what the cases were. So the death toll was about over 10,000 in the world. But April 2nd, the worldwide cases, not deaths, surpassed 1 million. So it was just going boom. It was just booming everywhere at this point. And this is also in April when we were advised CDC. I don't know if this is more in America, but I don't know what CDC stands for. I think it's a company or a health organization. Advises wearing face coverings, which actually did not come into the UK till, what was it, like August, September time for us? That you had to wear it in a shop.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
quite late on, because I remember I started my job in July, and it wasn't until like a month later that we had to start wearing it. So I think it was like August or September time. But the advice was there from April 3rd. And then Borris, he's in hospital.
Oh my
Borris is
God.
in hospital, COVID.
Crap, yeah.
And everyone's like, is he going to die? Is he going to survive? There's only one way to find out. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd think as well, with him being in hospital, that he would take it more seriously after, but let me stop. Yeah.
And then America, I think America's the first country to report 2,000 deaths in a single day. So numbers are really going up there. And so all this is happening. All the cases are going higher and higher and higher. And Donald Trump announces he will suspend further funding for World Health Organization, because basically he believed that they didn't take action soon enough and it's their fault and all this. However, there's a documentary called Explained, Coronavirus, on Netflix, about 30 minutes. Incredible. I watched that in lockdown. And it talks about how WHO have said, like, there are signs that there will be a worldwide pandemic, and it will be this, this, and this, and this is how it's going to affect the world. That information was out there, but no country had acted upon the advice of WHO.
Yeah.
So what do you mean you're going to suspend their funding? They literally have an article about it written that this pandemic is coming and it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Which is mad to think about. So Donald Trump being a dickhead, as per usual, what's new there? And then also America showing us their true colours. People start to protest at the end of April about being in lockdown because they want their freedom. Because they want their freedom.
What an injustice to have to stay in your house and protect yourself and others. What a crime.
It's because the government's controlling them. The government is trying to track them down.
It's brainwashing. It's all lies.
It's all lies.
And it's crazy that to this day, some people still believe that. Like, I don't get it. Like, how can you not believe it's real?
I do have to say, like, I'm not saying the UK is good, but America's on another level of crazy. Yes. I don't know what it is. They have this, like, real, like, strong ideas about, like, freedom and, like, you can be what you want to be and do what you want to do, which, you know, is okay to an extent. But they always take it too far, in my opinion. Literally. I'm not saying the UK is good, and I'm not saying there's no racism here, there's no, you know, bad people here or anything like that. But I don't think the UK is like that in the way America is.
Yeah, they're just another level. It's so mad.
God. It's mad. It is real mad. America confuses me so much. Like, please, America, explain. And then as we move into May, things are not getting any better. If in fact anything, it's all getting worse. We've got coronavirus, but also America is having an invasion of murder hornets. Don't know if you remember that.
What?
Yeah, they're like wasps, but like massive, and like they're like evil. So they had an invasion of murder hornets. The worldwide corona deaths surpasses 300,000, which, if you remember, just a month and a half before, it was 10,000. Then a lot, yeah. The fuel on the fire explodes in Minneapolis. Is that how you say it? Minneapolis. as a police officer is filmed pressing his knee on the neck of George Floyd for about 8 minutes, killing him as 3 other officers stand by. Video of the death goes viral, and the 4 officers are fired the next day. And then also in May, there's more things to do with George Floyd. A state emergency is declared in Minneapolis as protests over the death of George Floyd start, and racial injustice spreads nationwide. The Minneapolis police officer, Derek, who was the one who put his knee on George Floyd's neck, is charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter. The Minnesota Attorney General increases the charges to second-degree murder on June 3rd. Charges against 3 other fired officers are filed. So you've that time span is from May 25th to May 29th, which was slow, but I'm happy that we got to that point at least. And I know a lot of people were saying give him he should be on first degree murder. However, a lot of people were saying don't push first degree murder because it has to be with unreasonable doubt that he did it on purpose, which is really hard to prove apparently. So getting it to second degree murder was like the best that you were going to get, that was most likely to get charged for anyway. And then the last thing of May is a state of emergency is declared in Los Angeles County and city of Los Angeles because of protests over the death of George Floyd and racial injustice. Curfews are also declared in Philadelphia and Atlanta. So this is where like we saw the mass crowds, people going out and protesting and saying, you know, this isn't right and we've had enough now, which was like incredible to see. And it was like none other that I've ever seen in my life. And it was just crazy to see loads of people coming together. But it was a really scary time as well because there was so much violence happening from the protests. You know, the police were using tear gas and people getting shot in the eye, losing their eyes and getting injured. And I know now they know how many people were arrested as well. It was like 14,000 people were arrested at the protests.
Oh my God.
And that's why people are mad that recently, this first week of January, that all the people that stormed the Capitol, there was only 13 arrests. So like, how can you arrest 14,000 people at the protest and make 13 arrests when people storm the Capitol to stop democracy? Like, what?
It's like shocking. Like how I just don't get it. Yeah, it was such a like eventful time for everyone. I think on social media as well, it was crazy, especially those 4 days. It was every day you woke up, there was something new, there was videos, and you know, petitions to sign to get that charge from third degree murder to second degree murder, and videos of protests. I remember seeing like Halsey, she was protesting with her brother, and I think she filmed a video where she or someone near her got shot. So it was just so intense because we were constantly seeing videos of protests and like Donald Trump tweeting when the looting starts, the shooting starts.
Mad. It's a mad world we live in. Honestly, when he tweeted that, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, talk about inciting violence. And then do you remember seeing like people themselves would just turn up with guns to like see if they could like help out? And it's like, you ain't the police, so why are you getting involved? Not that I'm saying the police should be getting involved, but you know what I mean? Like, you're not even like legally meant to be getting involved. Like, what are you doing?
They're thinking one guy with a gun can control these massive crowds of people that are protesting peacefully as well. Like, it's
and I know like there was looting and there was like some violence. Some people were out to make trouble, but there's always going to be that. But the thing is, though, you know, it's like a lot of people were upset that things were getting taken down and they were getting broken and things were getting set on fire. But it's like these people are losing their lives, and like they've come to a point now where they're taking drastic measures. Like in the UK, when there was protests here, I think it was in Leeds or some like Liverpool. Maybe it's Liverpool. I think it's Liverpool because it's a port. That's where they had a lot of like the slaves came through the ports, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I think it was in Liverpool, there was like a statue of some guy who had slaves.
Yeah.
And apparently there had been petitions. They've been really trying really hard to get this either taken down or a note put in next to it to be like, this is the history of what he did, what's wrong. You know, you don't necessarily have to take down the statue, but at least put the truth out there that this man did these bad things and we have to learn from history.
Yes,
so they were trying really hard. And in the end, during the protest, they knocked it down. They threw it in the water. And people were like, this is outrageous. This is outrageous. But it's like, but they've been trying so hard to do it right and they've not been listened to. So they pushed themselves to these drastic measures to be heard. So,
yeah,
you know, it's just like, there's always two sides to a story. And you have to hear out what was the first truth in it. Like, they actually did try to get it sorted properly, but no one was listening. So, yeah, it was just crazy. It was a bit overwhelming for me. And then, like, you know, because every day it was really negative, and you know, like, we were in lockdown, it was really, I found it really hard because it was so violent, but obviously, again, then that's through my privilege that if I wanted to stop looking at that, I can, which is something I didn't want to do. So I remember I donated money and, you know, signed protest. I didn't have much money at the time because literally no job.
Yeah. You
no
know,
job,
you need over unemployment.
no job. But
Yeah.
I remember there was like bail funds and I like donated to some of them and stuff like that. And I bought a t-shirt and a girl made that was raising money for like Black Lives Matter and stuff. So it was a crazy time.
Yeah. And I think that's fair to say. It's overwhelming for everyone, especially like you said, because we're all in lockdown. So social media is what we did most days. It's how we stay connected. It's how we communicated with each other. And obviously that was so big. That was all we were thinking. So when you see that every day, all day, it's a lot. But although it was a lot to deal with, I'm not glad it happened because obviously the things that caused it weren't good at all. But the fact that we were all forced to look at it every day, I think that's what made it such a huge thing, a huge push and a huge movement, and why we got involved. So I think it was important that that all happened and we all saw it and got involved as much as we could.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Then obviously it continued into June. I've not got much to say, but I don't know if you remember, President Trump was threatened to deploy the US troops to quell protests across the country. And he did a staged photo holding a Bible outside of that church. And it was just like, it was just a really horrible photo and scene. And then also protests started up in Atlanta after a killing of Rayshard Brooks, who was killed in a parking lot of a fast food restaurant. But things get a bit positive. The US Supreme Court rules a new Civil Rights Act, which makes it illegal. Hang on, I'm reading that right. So it makes it illegal for employers to discriminate because of a person's sex, and it also covers sexual orientation, which is good news. Even more good news, FBI arrests, I don't know how you say your name, Ghislaine Maxwell, I don't know how to say her name, on charges for helping lure at least 3 girls to be sexually abused by the later financer, Jeffrey Epstein. So basically, I think she was his partner and helped groom girls. So she got arrested. So that was great. This is July. Anyway, I might as well just keep going. Also, the Supreme Court rejects the claim of presidential immunity and rules President Trump must release his financial records to prosecutors in New York, which is where basically I think they found out that he'd been doing loads of tax evasion and stuff.
Yeah.
But once he's no longer president, he will have no protection over. So stay tuned, girl. Also in July, President Trump announces a surge of federal officers into Democratic-run cities following a crackdown on protests in Portland. And President Trump suggests the 2020 presidential election must be delayed, saying increased voting by mail could lead to fraud. So he was already planting his seed that the election was not going to be done right. But you can't actually delay a presidential election or something. He doesn't have the power to do that or something, I read. So it was just like one of them things that he says, and you're like, oh my God, why didn't you get someone to fact check your tweet before you said this? Like, what's going on?
Literally, like every other thing Donald Trump says doesn't make sense or is not true. So I'm not surprised that he said that. But
And I think around this time we were both applying for universal credit because we had no money and we were like, bro. And I
yeah,
did finally get my job in around beginning of July. So I started working as a key worker, which was mad.
mad. Yeah, I do have one extra date for July that you
Oh
might not
God.
have on your list. So on the 24th of July, that's when we posted our first podcast episode.
Ah, wow, we've gone for ages. I didn't
We
realise.
have, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's mad.
yeah, it's so mad
What's the
that
first episode about?
our uni experience.
Oh my God.
I can't watch that episode back because it was our first episode. I was so awkward in it. But no, I'm glad we started it. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, it's good because we wanted to stay like it was like something for us to both do, but it's also something for us to show like not employers but like our creative partners, like what have we been doing in lockdown, trying to keep something like going, so we have some evidence that even though we have no work or creative opportunities in lockdown, like we can create something from it. So
Yeah. 100%. And I think it was good for us as well because of lockdown. Obviously, we couldn't see each other as much. There's so much going on in the world. So it was good for us just to, create a platform, even though it's still quite small at the minute, where we could just talk about this and then.
Yeah, and have a laugh while doing it.
Exactly, yeah.
That's cute. Life just gets worse again in August. So basically, there's a fire that's burning like 22,000 acres in Cherry Valley and surrounding areas in Riverdale and San Bernardino counties, destroying homes. So there's like fires going on.
Oh, hello. You're breaking up.
Bro.
Okay, she's back.
Okay. Also in August, Joe Biden announces Senate Kamala Harris of California as his vice presidential running mate, which she is the first woman of color to appear as the major party presidential ticket. Then there's also thunderstorms trigger hundreds of wildfires in California. And it almost burns 400,000 acres of land. More stuff happens on the same day. More fires. Fires start in Northern California. And it's the largest fire in California history, burning more than 1 million acres. Death Valley hits 130 degrees, thought to be the highest temperature on Earth in nearly a century. That all happens on the same day, so when them fires are happening.
Jeez.
And then another bad thing, protests break out in Kenosha, Wisconsin, I think, after a shooting of 29-year-old Jacob Blake by a police officer. Is Jacob Blake the sweet boy who, what was he? Was he like not in care or something, but like, wasn't he doing something? I can't remember what it was now.
I think he was on the autism spectrum. I think
Yes, that was it. I think that was what it was. And he like
yeah.
went to like programs or this school or something, and there was like photos of him there or something like that I've seen. But yeah, so that happened in August. And then the final thing in August is obviously Chadwick Boseman died at 43 following some previously undisclosed battle with colon cancer, which is mad because we talked about that on our podcast. But yeah, so August wasn't great. There was more fires. There was another death that fueled more Black Lives Matter movement stuff. And then obviously the shooting, the death. What am I doing? Brain. Chadwick obviously passed away, which no one expected. But yeah, I remember when the protests were in the UK that we spoke about earlier, and I really wanted to go. But like I didn't have a car at that point.
Yeah.
I think when did I get my car? Was it May? I think I got my car in May, so it must have been just before then. The protests were in the UK.
Yeah.
And I had like no way to get there, and then like I was really really worried about like the virus because like my auntie has cystic fibrosis. So I was like, if like it got in my family and like she got it, like like yikes, like would not want to be that person that kills her off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
literally.
I remember the protest here. You went to one in Coventry, didn't you?
I did, yeah, and it was crazy. I went with my sisters, and obviously my older sister had a car, so we were able to get there safely and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, you know, lockdown, it's first big lockdown, everything was closed. I don't know if buses were running. So it was definitely a massive risk. And I will say that people weren't, you know, socially distancing the whole time. There was a lot of people there. Thankfully, a lot of people were wearing masks. A lot of people, you know, distanced as best they could. Because there was like a talk sort of thing at the start before we started marching.
Yeah, you started in the, wasn't it starting in the Godiva Square?
Yeah, Godiva Square, there's quite a few speakers there, you know, local to Coventry, talking about, you know, how Black Matter it is in the UK and stuff, because, you know, the UK is not innocent at all. So, yeah, it was really nice to go and listen to these people and see so many people show up as well. And yeah, march around the city. It was long. My feet hurt.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely worth it. There was a lot of solidarity, which gave me a lot of hope, which was really good. But, yeah.
That's good. That's
Crazy.
good. So yeah, it was all popping off in August as well. And I remember like the protest just went on and on and on for like weeks and months in America. I'm sure like there was like don't let anybody. And the media's not showing it, but we're still protesting. It was like day 263 or something. And I was like,
Yes, yeah.
oh, that's mad. But moving into September, there's another Black Lives Matter movement thing. Family members and activists demand that the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department release the names of the deputies who shot and killed Dijon Kizzee. I'm really terrible names. I do apologize. A Black man in South Los Angeles neighborhood of Westmont, and and he was killed on August 31st. So in September they're demanding justice for that. The Dorado fire erupts in San Bernardino County, sparked by. So there's another fire that starts, and do you remember when it was sparked? What it was sparked by? A gender reveal party.
What? No, was it actually? Oh.
Yeah, and the fire set a new record for destroying wildfires. And do you know how much it burnt? 2.1 million acres.
Oh
From
my
a gender
God.
reveal party. Oregon wildfires start amid severe drought, severe winds. By the end of October, more than 1 million acres is burnt. More than 4,000 homes will be destroyed and at least 10 people killed. Also in September, more than 500,000 people in Oregon, so more than 10% of the state's population, are reported to be fleeing wildfires. Trump's popping off. Trump refuses to commit to a peaceful transfer of power if he loses in the November election, which he's proved. He's proved that as well. Mm-hmm. A Kentucky grand jury brings no charges against Louisville. Louisville, is that how you say it? I don't
no
know
idea.
American places. Brings no charges against police in the killing of Breonna Taylor during a drug raid gone wrong. So what was that? March? It started in March, and this is September. Also, we've got New York Times reports on more than 2 decades worth of President Trump's personal and tax returns. Among the revelations, he paid $750 in federal taxes in 2016 and again in 2017, which is nothing.
Yeah.
So that's September. So just more fires.
Yeah.
More fire.
That's crazy. I would hate to be that family that started it, obviously, because
they need to get arrested.
it is.
Do you know how much damage they did?
Yeah.
People lost their homes.
Oh my God.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it's so horrible. I mean, obviously they didn't intend for that to happen, but from a gender reveal party, let's stop gender reveal parties.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's so like 2016. Like, let's leave it there.
I know, enough is enough. We've learned our lesson. Come on.
I mean, September was really bad, but October starts really great. The 1st of October, Trump and Melania, whatever her name is, they have COVID-19. Let's go, baby. Hey, hey.
I remember, oh my God, Twitter was popping off that day. Everyone was celebrating. Everyone was like,
I know, everyone was like, woo, President Trump could be out.
Oh God.
He's rushed to hospital the next day, and unfortunately on the 5th he returns to the White House, and it's hella dramatic. It's like some movie scene. He's like dropped off in an airplane, and he like salutes, and he takes his mask off and all this stuff, and it's mad. And then something really interesting that I didn't know, in October, the Stanford University study links more than 30,000 COVID cases and 700 deaths to President Trump's campaign rallies.
Wow.
Which I thought was really interesting. So obviously that just shows like his incompetency as a leader, that he's leading his people to death and to get COVID. So
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a dickhead.
He is. It's so crazy how he had it as well. And I still don't think he's taking it seriously. He at first, before he went into hospital, was me saying like it's not real, and the whole thing about drinking bleach. He still won't wear a mask.
Oh my God, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Was funny. That was funny. Because there's some of the American people be like, oh, okay. It's like,
Let's crack out the Clorox. No. Yeah. Like, I think I wouldn't be surprised if some people actually did that, because you must be dumb to follow Donald Trump.
It's just mad. And the thing that my mum said is, I bet he's not even had it. I wonder if it was like a PR stunt.
I remember you saying
like,
that, yeah.
It would make sense, like, because he was like, I'm fine. We're all going to get through this. And it's a bit like, okay, you're fine because you have the best you had the best doctors like watching you around the clock, but not everyone has that luxury.
No, especially in America as well, where they don't have NHS. Like, people have to pay. Some people don't have healthcare, so yeah.
And I'm sure I remember at the beginning of the year that someone's bill was like £1 million or something stupid, from like, because they'd been like in a coma from COVID and stuff like that, or something stupid. And they were like, I wish I think they said like, I wish they'd just left me to die because I can't afford to pay this back. And I was like, imagine, crazy.
That's insane.
But anyway, November, California largely breezes through election day. Nationwide, it's a different story. After midnight, President Trump announces he has won the election and demands all voting counting stop. Alleged voter fraud. But the millions of votes still to be counted, no news organizations declare a presidential winner. How is that democracy? Anyway.
It's not.
President Trump continues his attack on the voting system as he joins several lawsuits aiming to stop the vote counts in Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan, the states where he was likely to lose. I think they were. Finally, Joe Biden wins the election. So we were popping bottles. I mean, I'm not saying Joe Biden's amazing, but he's a shit ton fucking better than Donald Trump, that's for sure.
100%.
Also, at the beginning of November, we saw Pfizer. It's a company, don't know how you say it's like Pfizer, says that early data on the coronavirus vaccine candidate suggests that shots may be 90% effective at preventing the disease, which was great. Then we also had another company, Moderna, announced that in their COVID vaccine, it appears to be 94.5% effective, according to preliminary data. Then Pfizer comes back and she's like, honey, we've got to say, our results are showing that COVID-19 vaccine is 95% effective. So they were like having a battle for like a week. I don't know what's happening there.
I mean, go off, please, go off.
And then the funny thing in November was that President Trump escalates his attempt to overturn Joe Biden's election victory, pushing for judges and Republican state lawmakers and local officials in several battleground states to ignore voter verdicts and award him the electoral votes he needs for a second term.
Wow.
So I don't feel like November was as intense, but it was like intense for the election, I think.
Yeah, politically, it was very like, you know, intense.
Intense.
Because Donald Trump, he's literally just a drama queen. He likes to know everything about himself. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting this election to be very peaceful, to be honest. But you know,
I didn't expect it to be this mad. Like literally, like saying we need to stop the votes. What do you mean? That's not how democracy works. And
no,
then it's like we've got to find lawmaking. You know, when he was like deploy everyone, get them to find a way to make me a second term. It's like, no, that's not how it works. The people don't want you. The people have spoken. The people don't want you anymore. You have to say goodbye. And you know what was funny as well?
yeah.
It's more related to like what's happened with the Capitol and all that at the minute. But it's like Bill Clinton gets impeached for getting his dick sucked by his like mistress, right? But Donald Trump gets his people to storm the Capitol and he hasn't been impeached. What? He's done all these things, but he's not been impeached. But Bill Clinton has a little side chick and he gets impeached. What's going on?
Things are not adding up, and that's what's the most annoying thing about Donald Trump. Why is he not getting the same treatment as literally everyone else? Why does he think he's so
different?
special?
He's no more special than anyone else. I don't get it.
No, oh, it's
And
so
mad.
mad.
It's mad.
Literally crazy.
But November was a bit mad. It was very entertaining to watch from the UK. To be like, what's popping? But yeah, so
Yeah.
I know in there was a second lockdown. We had a second lockdown at some point, but I haven't put that in.
Yeah,
It
I
was
can't remember when that was.
I think it's October. It was 31st of October.
Oh my god. Yeah, I remember.
And
Because
then measures came into force November 5th
Mhm.
for like what's it called, like the tiers, I think.
Yeah, that was all very confusing. I remember I just
It
started.
made no fucking sense.
Literally, I was like, I thought we had a level 1 to 5 at the start of lockdown, and now we've got tier 1, 2, 3, 4. And the whole idea of like that lockdown, November lockdown, only lasted a month, so things could open back up for Christmas. We knew, I remember me and you saying to each other, like, that's not going to be the case. If it does open back up, we're going to go back into lockdown. And what happened? We're back in lockdown. Like, yeah, it's just.
I told you, man. I told you. After Christmas, we're going in lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
I told you. It's just not realistic.
It's not at all, and it's not worth it either. Like, I just thought, like, what's the point? Was it really worth it? When we look at the numbers now,
Yeah.
yeah, it's mad.
So the final month of 2020, final month, December 8th, vaccinations start to be rolled out in the UK, which I will put my hands up and say the UK actually did quite fast. I think we're one of the first countries to start rolling out vaccines, I think.
Yeah.
So we finally stopped rolling out some of them. The first vaccines on December 14th start in America, and on the same day, the Electoral College confirms Joe Biden's victory over the President Trump. And then obviously, I think it was the 31st of December, we leave the European Union for good.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's December.
Wow.
That's it. That's it, baby. That's the year. It's crazy.
It is. It's so crazy. Some of the stuff that you listed out, I don't even remember happening. Like the infestation of the hornets, and then.
Oh my god! I remember that was like a meme on Twitter. It was like, oh my god, what else could happen in this year? Mad, yeah. But I don't know. It's just crazy. Yeah, I'm sure there's more stuff that happened. But that's just like my points that I've got. That's 65 points as well. So
I know.
A lot happened. But a lot of good things happened, which we'll move on to.
Yeah.
A lot of creative things came out of this year. We couldn't go to the cinema really, but we had a lot of Netflix. We also had a lot of chances to listen to music. So I've made a list of my top films, albums, and series.
Go off.
So I'll start with the films. I haven't really watched many films this year, to be honest. I've watched a lot of like Netflix films from like other years. So I have just wrote ones that I have seen this year that came out this year, and I'm probably missing loads. Parasite, obviously, which is weird. That's when the world was all normal. Birds of Prey, I went on a date and saw that. That's mad. How was that this last year?
Oh my god,
Do
that
you
is
remember?
crazy. That feel
Do you
remember because you can't even do that now, even if you wanted to. That's yeah, it feels like
Yeah,
a
so
whole
I went on
world
a date to
ago.
see that.
Yeah.
So that was a good film. Inheritance on Netflix. That was interesting.
Yeah.
It's got, what's her name? Who's the girl in Emily in Paris? What's her name?
Oh, I know who she is, but I don't know her name. Yeah.
But she's in it, and so is the guy from Shaun of the Dead. I can't remember
Yes.
his name either. But that was interesting. Bit spooky, bit thrillery. And then also The Devil All the Time that was on Netflix. It had loads of actors in. It had Tom Holland in. It had Robert Pattinson in. It had it had loads of people in. I can't think. That was a good film. I can't think of any other films like this year that have come out. I know that the Wonder Woman film's out now, but I don't know where that is. It's come out somewhere because I saw someone watch it, but it was online.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
that's meant to be really good, but I've not seen it,
Mm.
so I can't speak on it. So they're my films, and then I thought I'd do some series that I've like watched over the year. So Ratched was really good. That's on Netflix. Um, Dirty John season 2 was amazing. It's called like Betty or something, and basically about her husband. Like her husband like drives her insane and makes her out to be like this evil character, and she ends up in prison. And it's just mad. Like it's a true story. It's based
Yeah.
on a true story, and the woman's still in prison to this day. It is mad how basically he's rich and like gets away with everything and can sleep with these other people and do what he wants, but it's mad. Anyway, Little Fires Everywhere, that was on Prime. That was really good. I think there's gonna
Yeah.
be another season. I hope there is.
Yeah.
That was really good.
It,
Tiger King, that changed the scene. That did.
that
That
was
was
wild.
cultural
Yeah.
reset. Tiger King.
Absolutely.
Um, and then obviously Umbrella Academy season 2. That was phenomenal as well. So they're my films and my series. Have you got any films and series?
Um, I've got like just a couple, not much. I
Yeah, I
did,
haven't got much.
yeah, I feel like I watched a lot, but it was just to like kind of get through lockdown. There's not a lot of films that I really like, was excited about. But there were a few. So obviously Parasite, like we said at the start, amazing, amazing, amazing film. Yeah,
Was Queen and Slim beginning of last year?
that's a shout. Yeah, let me Google that because I did watch that.
Because
That's
wasn't that when we could still go to the cinema? I'm sure we at the Phoenix and we were talking about like the 1975 and like Queen and Slim. We were at Aislinn having breakfast.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That last year, I can't even think. It's like I feel like anything pre-COVID did not happen last year.
I know, yeah. It says Queen Slim was released 2019, November 2019.
Oh, maybe it was like it was still playing at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think so. But I watched that in lockdown. That is an amazing film, really good and really relevant to this year with all the Black Lives Matter stuff. Yeah, I definitely recommend it to give you like an insight into it. It's just a really
Mm.
good film. What else? There was a film that was released this year. It's a British film called Rocks, and it's basically about a young girl who lives in London, and her mum had left her alone. Basically, she's disappeared and left her alone to take care of her little brother. So she doesn't want to go into care. She doesn't want to get help. So it's about how she survives on her own for a while, like getting support from her friends and stuff. And it's a
Mm.
really emotional film. It's really good. It's on Netflix.
I think it was. I've got 2 links which I'll put in the description. That the best that was on the best films of 2020. That rocks. I hadn't seen it, but it was on the best list. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah, no, really, really good. Um, and I'm sure there's more films that I watched, but
That's what I was thinking when I was writing my list, and I googled like films that came out this year. But I think a lot of my films were just stuff that was on Netflix that wasn't necessarily released this year.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
just watching stuff to get through lockdown, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think I watched a lot of series as well, but there's only 2 that really stick with me that I really, really loved. So one came out this year. It was on BBC Three, and it's called I May Destroy You, or let me check. One of my favorite series, and I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I May Destroy You, and it's a UK series, and it's got Michaela Cole in it, who's a really good actor, and she wrote and directed it, and it's all about like sexual assault and her story with it and her journey with it. And then it's only 6 episodes long, and the last episode's like a Groundhog Day situation. It really messes with your mind. It's so good though. I really recommend it. And the second series that I binged, and I've already watched this before, it was released ages ago, is The Office US. It's just, I love it so much. It's so good for taking your mind off it. It's 9 seasons of just pure stupidity. It's, yeah, I love it.
Something that I finished this year, the last season came out, last year, 2020, was How to Get Away with Murder. The final season was released. That's great. Brilliant. You want anything to binge, watch that. She is a phenomenal actor.
Viola Davis.
Yeah, she's amazing. So I watched that final season. I don't know what I binged. I watched a lot of YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
But I watch YouTube all the time anyway. When you think back, like, what did I actually do? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I got through it last year.
Do you know what? I'm not like looking at my achievements so much last year. Like, we did achieve a lot. We finished uni, but like the fact that we just, got a degree and stuff. The fact that we just survived, I'm taking that as a win.
Yeah. My top albums. Okay, so there's B, obviously.
Of course.
Did you remember Map of the Soul 7 came out last year?
That's insane.
That's mad. I thought it was the year before. So obviously Map of the Soul 7. Manic by Halsey, that came out at the beginning of the year. And I remember listening to that at the gym while at uni, which is mad to think about.
God, yeah.
Chromatica by Lady Gaga is phenomenal. And she got absolutely... What's the word? She got absolutely like... There's injustice against Lady Gaga at the Grammys this year. I don't even think she got 1 Grammy for her album, and it's fucking revolutionary. I don't want to talk about it because it's a bit sensitive right now. So get back to me in 2 working days. But yeah, so she didn't get anything. I don't think she got anything for it.
That's crazy, because was it like last year she swept the Grammy? She got like 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah. They did really well with them. They did really well with the film. A Star Is Born. They did really well with Star Is Born at the Oscars. They swept the Oscars the other year. And then Plastic Hearts by Miley Cyrus is a good album. Really enjoyed that. Positions by Ariana Grande. I've really, really enjoyed that album. So good. After Hours by The Weeknd. He did an amazing album. And again, he's been absolutely snubbed at the Grammys that will be happening this year. And then also Nectar by Joji. It's lovely. Yeah, it's lovely. It's got great songs on it. Run, Gimme Love, Pretty Boy. Oh, great songs on it. I don't know if it's an EP or an album, but it's great. They're the only ones I could think of that came out this year. I thought Post Malone's Hollywood's Bleeding came out last year, but it was actually the end of 2019, which is probably why I thought it came out at the beginning of last year, but it didn't. I can't think of anything else. Like, I had a quick look on my Spotify, but I can't think. Like, literally, like we were just saying, like, I forgot that happened last year. That's how I feel about the whole of last year. It's like, I can't remember what happened, because anything pre-COVID is like, did it really happen?
Literally, I feel like the concept of time has just gone out the window for everyone. But yeah, especially like when you look at Map of the Soul 7, like BTS's album, because so much was supposed to come with that. BTS do so much with their albums, like performances, concerts, tours, and because that all got cut short because of Corona, it feels like it didn't even happen last year. It feels like so long ago, because we didn't get a lot from it. So
I also forgot that was a great EP album, D2 by Augusti.
Yes,
that was great. I forgot that came out last year.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at my top songs of 2020. A lot of them aren't from songs that were from last year, though. That are like from. Also, TXT's album was good.
Yeah.
Didn't both of them come out? There was 2 that came out last year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. They had
just the one. It was just Blue Hour.
Oh, was it? I
No,
thought
I thought. Hang
the
on. Oh
purple one.
no. Yeah. Eternity came out last year as well.
Yeah.
Can you see me in it? What else K-pop wise came out last year?
I feel like a lot, but I don't even know.
Um,
Blackpink's album came out, I think, in August, and that was their first album after like 4 years of being together. So everyone was really excited for that. Um,
um, here's some like apparently hits of 2020. Shall I read some?
yeah, go for it.
Gotta Go, Solo. I don't know if these are all last year that it says it is, but I don't know if it is. Wonderland.
Okay.
Lay. Is it Lay?
Who's it by?
Sumi.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
The song, the collab between is it IU
hmm
and Yoongi came out, didn't it?
yeah. Eight. That's such a nice song. Such a
That's
feel-good song.
did Snapping really come out last year? No, that's surely the year before.
Yeah, no, it can't have because
Oh, it's the year before. Why is this playlist lying to me? I
I
don't
think
like that.
I think you said solo as well, and that
Let's
definitely wasn't 2020.
okay, comebacks. We've got comebacks. Okay, Dun.
Yes, banger.
Um, we've got Red Moon.
Yes, that slapped.
We've also got Eyes Zone. Is it Eyes One?
Yeah.
Eyes. They brought their song. I don't know what this is. They go hey and Festa. Itzy. Wanna Be.
I'm not even gonna try the shoulder movement because that woman she's crazy. That was such a good song though.
Sweet Night by V.
Yes,
100 Ways by Jackson Wang.
King.
Um, Not by the Moon. Love You Better.
Oh.
My Time. Sit Down. NCT brought out that album, didn't they?
Yeah.
Who else? Oh yeah, 8. We've got 8 on their list. Digitar. What do you think? Candy by Bacon. More and More twice.
Yes, that was such a good album as well.
17 brought out stuff, but I don't listen to them.
Ooh.
Pop has it? How do you say it? Pete Palm.
Potter Peep Tan, I think that's how she sings it, but I don't know.
Maria, but obviously there was loads of controversy. Loads of stuff came out last year. What the hell?
Yeah, I feel like it was a big year for K-pop.
Jessie brought out her album. That was good.
I'm so glad. I feel like she's getting the recognition that
she needs. Yeah. She deserves. Finally, she's been in like the K-pop industry for like what, 10 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Gunshot.
Banger.
Tiger Inside, which was super M, but I weren't vibing that, to be fair.
No, I didn't.
Oh, keep an open mind, girl. Wanna, baby. Criminal by Taemin. Wanna Be Myself, Mamamoo. Island. Into the Island. That series came out. That was last year.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Blue Hour. I Can't Stop Me. God, this playlist. Better twice. God, this. Oh, Kai. So.
Yeah. Go off, Queen. Yes.
Last Piece.
Oh. Sensitive, very sensitive. Let's not go to
that. Is it DPR? I don't listen to him, but my friend, Sarah loves him.
He's really good, yeah.
I need to listen to him. But yeah, that was basically last year.
Yeah, I feel like it was a big year for K-pop, even though, you know, a lot of plans were halted because of COVID. They just did well.
Dynamite swept America. How do we forget that?
How is that not on the playlist? That should be number one. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, Dynamite swept America
Yes.
and the UK everywhere. It swept it everywhere.
Song of the year.
Literally. Anyway, sorry. Your albums of the year are...
Yes, we love that. So I made a little playlist because for this episode, right, we were originally going to do like a countdown, like our top albums or our top things, but then we just thought, let's just talk about 2020 because, yeah. So I started making a little playlist for my album.
Oh, we should make a playlist together and then put it in the description.
Yeah, should we do that? That would be good.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll put all that together. Okay. So my first album is A Muse in Her Feelings by Division. So they're really good. They're like an R&B duo. Obviously Positions by Ariana Grande. Twice as Tall by Burna Boy. That was a really good album. I've got Blackpink's The Album in there. Some bops. Everglow's album. It's really weird. What's it called? It's like minus 77.82x minus 77. I think it's coordinates. I'm not sure what for.
Oh, right. Got yeah.
But yeah, it was their La Di Da comeback, which is really good. Got Chloe and Halle's new album, Forgive Me.
Is that the one where they're wearing, it's like gold and they're like got wings?
Yes, yeah, they got like black wings. That's really good. What else? We've got Rina Sawayama's album, I think it's called Sawayama, Little Mix, and it's not really a sad year for them, but they lost a member, Jessie. She decided to leave to, you know, prioritise her mental health, but they're also good friends. So yeah, obviously BTS, got Master Self 7 and B, really good albums. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Yeah, and Twice as well, yeah.
Yeah, how could you forget?
How could I forget Twice? Fake Stan.
A fake Stan. Get out of here. But yeah, it was an alright year, to be fair, for like music in a way. I felt like it gave artists time to like create because they had nothing other to do. Like you couldn't go on any tours. Like like BTS tour got cancelled last year. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I paid for a whole membership so I could get pre-sale tickets. For what? For what? I was broke and I was like, I don't want to pay for this membership. Everyone's like, you got to. I want a refund.
Immediately.
I've got a book that's all in Korean in my cupboard that I can't even read for the membership. Where's the English version?
Idiot. Come on. Oh.
Come on, bruv.
Stress.
Oh,
but it's crazy. I feel like the music industry, even though, tours got cancelled and stuff, they adjusted well. Like all the virtual concerts that happened and performances and like award shows, obviously they're not the same as like having a crowd there and stuff.
What award show was at the I'm sure there was an award show at the beginning of the year that BTS went to in America. Was it the beginning of last year?
But I think beginning of last year was Grammys. That's when they performed with like Little Nas X and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. How weird.
Yeah.
Like I said, anything pre-COVID does not exist last year for me in my brain.
Yeah, it was
that was my whole year, so it's like I can't think of it.
Honestly, yeah.
Mad, innit?
So mad.
Well, that's 2020. That is 2020. That's it.
What a year. Thank God it's over. But let me not speak to you soon on 2021 because who knows what can happen.
We're just going to take it as it comes.
Literally. If we have learned anything from 2020, it's just take it as it comes.
Oh, in 2020, I'm waiting for you to pay for my dinner. You're the one bringing in the dollar now. Here I am working for pennies in the supermarket, 16 hours a week.
Oh, God.
I want you to be good.
I'm a working woman now. That's what's changed in 2020. We've all grown up. So when we can, we will be living our best lives.
Your kimchi that I made.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was literally
sour. By the time you get it, it's gonna be so sour because it's fermenting, isn't it? Obviously, it's not been opened.
Yeah, fermenting as we speak. I'm looking forward to it when we finally can meet up.
Yeah.
But when that will be, who knows? Yeah.
Exactly. Who knows?
We shall see. But yeah, one thing I did want to ask you before we get into our last bit is like, do you have any New Year's resolutions? Do you have anything for this year that you want to go to? No, same.
No. I like have goals in terms of like fitness. but nothing like that I have to stick to. So I put a number on like what I want to be able to deadlift and stuff like that, but it's not necessarily a realistic goal. It's just a goal I want to get to, whether that's this year or next year, whatever. But I just thought, like, let's not give myself any New Year's resolutions, because, like, first of all, you never really complete them, and then, like, COVID's the worst it's been at the minute. It's like, we ain't going anywhere, we ain't doing nothing, so, like, how am I going to complete anything anyway? I ain't. So, you know.
No, same. I said there's no point in like having resolutions at all, and I feel like now more than ever, it's not the time to, you know, give ourselves goals and stuff and like to be hard on ourselves. Let's just survive. Let's just get through the year together. That's all we can do. Yeah.
That's it. That's 2020, guys.
That is
2020. But what can we do to make 2021 better, Aisha?
Well, exactly. That brings us on to the final segment of our episode. So we like to talk about something that we want to bring awareness to and stuff. And for this first episode of 2021, I thought we will bring awareness to Mind, which is a charity in England and Wales, and they give information and advice and support with those with mental health problems. So, you know, obviously last year was a really challenging year for everyone, and there's a lot going on. And obviously we've had our Christmas season, and that's usually a really difficult time for people as it is, let alone going into lockdown, having the pandemic. Lots of people are alone. So yeah, I thought it was, you know, a good time to focus on mental health and, you know, get some, you know, information out there about how to get support or how to help that, you know, charity. So one thing that I found out though when I was doing some research is that according to Mind, the UK is currently in a mental health crisis, and there's a prediction that up to 10 million people, which is almost 20% of the population, will either need new or additional mental health support as a direct consequence of COVID-19. So yeah, it's just crazy with lockdown and everything, what everyone's been through. Yeah, so much going on.
Yeah. It's a hard time of year, especially when it's dark at night as well, and it's cold, like especially with sad people that have SAD. You know, the lack of sunlight as well could be really depressing, and the coldness, and, you know, like, we are in lockdown, but also, like, there's not much you can do anyway on top of it, so lockdown makes it even worse, so it makes it really hard for people. But yes, so hopefully,
She's breaking up.
You know, going to Mind can help people. Bruh! You know, hopefully being able to direct yourself to Mind will be able to help people. And I know during lockdown they did posts about like how to get over like mask anxiety.
Yeah,
you know, like some people it feels like claustrophobic to some people and stuff like that. And I'm sure they did like Instagram posts on that, so they're really good to follow as well.
100%, yeah. So we'll put all the links to everything, like their websites, their social media and stuff, down in the description box below. But yeah, if you have any concerns about your mental health or a loved one's, Mind has great resources that you can just read up on if you're curious, or if you want to get support from people, you can. If you go on the website, there's lots of information on how you can do that. And because obviously we're in a crisis now, lots of people want support. They're a charity and they're accepting donations. So if you can donate, again, follow those links and there'll be information on how you can do that. And yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
From us, both wearing red.
Yes, we didn't even plan
that. Yes, that's it from us on 2020. I'm leaving that in the past now. She's gone. And we move forward into 2021, and we hope that she treats us well.
Please, yes.
Please, baby girl.
So yeah, that is the end of this episode, first episode of 2021. We hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to follow us on our social media
at wakeup_podcast.
Yes, yeah. But other than that, we shall see you in the next one.
Bye.